Good morning. I'm Brian Clayton, principal of James Clemens High School, and to my far right here at the table is Miss Allison Carpenter, who was the instructional partner at Columbia Elementary and now serves as instructional partner at James Clemens. To her left is Miss Carmen Buchanan, who was instructional partner at Liberty Middle School, also serves as assistant principal at Liberty Middle School, is now assistant principal at James Clemens High School. And to my right is Miss Kelly Nichols, who is was once the instructional partner at James Clemens High School, served as the first one ever for our school since we just started, and now is also assistant principal at James Clemens High School. So we'd like to welcome you here. We wanted to talk about one process that all of us have had the experience of doing at different levels, and really has guided us here at James Clemens from the standpoint of establishing an instructional and a learning culture in our building. So we'd like to talk about that because we really feel like this process of establishing a one-page target for learning and instruction has really guided us through not only giving a focus for our school, but also guiding our professional development. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to everyone who would like to speak about it. I think it's a very valuable process and gets a lot of buy-in from your faculty. You agree, Ms. Carpenter?
I do agree. I think for us it was a turning point. We had an established faculty at Columbia, and it was a turning point in the culture of the school because we sought out every voice. I think that was a key piece. Everybody's voice was valued. We took input. The administrators and myself as the instructional partner did not give input intentionally because we wanted to hear from the teachers, and it was an overwhelming process at times. We laughed and we cried throughout the process, but I think the teacher voice in that and hearing from them what they felt the good instruction was critical in changing what we were seeing in classrooms and the effectiveness of teachers in the classrooms.
And for us at the middle school, when we went through the one-page target process, it was really, really enlightening for me to see us all get on the same page on that one-page target. We did it like you did it. The teachers had a voice. We did a lot of affinity mapping, a lot of in-between time for a reflection piece, meeting with some leadership teams to kind of refine it, take it back to the faculty. I went back to the faculty several times. And I will tell you, it was a very slow process, but that was okay. It wasn't anything that we needed to check off our list. Something that was very enlightening to me was when our faculty did not approve it after they had written it. We asked them to have their level of agreement and commitment, and we had lots of 6s and 7s. And I do remember looking at Dr. Clayton going, "Are you kidding me? Y'all wrote this thing, and so now you're not going to approve it?" But that was a big aha for me because our teachers wanted ownership. There were pieces of it that they weren't sure of, and they had realized this was not just something we were going to put together and put on a shelf. This was a living document. My phone rang off the hook that night with teachers trying to explain to me they really wanted to go back and revisit it, and that was okay.
I think we found the same thing here. I know Ms. Nichols led that process for us here at James Clemens, realizing that it was our first year, and I think she probably has a lot to add about that.
We were in a unique situation, with having teachers coming from all over the district and then outside of the district. So some of them had those experiences building one-page targets at various schools and were familiar with the process, but then we also had those that, like myself, were completely new to the process. And so it was interesting to all come together, but really setting the tone for our culture and the expectations that they were setting for themselves. And it lended naturally for us to do this process in our first year because of everything that we were establishing. Had it been an established school, I don't know that we would have gotten it finished in 1 year. And I think that would have been okay because it is such an important process, but one that you want them to all feel like they have a voice in, and you want them to know that it's not something that you're going to put on a shelf, but something that's going to grow with them as they grow.
Absolutely.
So it's really helped shape our vision for this year, and Miss Carpenter and Miss Buchanan have done a fabulous job in our PD this year, bringing in the one-page target every time we do something and saying this is why we're doing it. So it gives them purpose.
I think it does too. I think that has been, for me coming in as a new partner, I could see what the faculty here believed. And so everything should flow through that belief system. And I have felt that the faculty has valued me more because I have valued the work that came before. I was here.
Valuing that voice.
Valuing their voice that
their
was already
teacher
that was
voice.
present. And I think that is a huge part of the culture building of that this does. It is maybe not the intended outcome, but it's a great benefit because it builds this collaborative spirit among everyone. That allows someone like me to come in new and feel a part of things almost instantly.
And I think our one-page target looks a lot different than other targets. And I think it's because of it being a mesh of so many districts and so many different places that our teachers came together from. And there's not a lot of the student aspect in our target. There are a little bit of things that address the students, but I think when we start realizing that we are hitting those targets and we revisit it, I really think that will be a process that happens in the next phase. And again, a reiteration to them that this is a living document.
Right.
And
It is a very, very fluid document, and the student piece is essential. And once the teachers have the ownership of it, the students need to be brought in to have that ownership piece too, because bottom line, they are our customers. So if we have that the students are going to be doing something, the students need to understand what we're asking of them and that ownership piece as well.
Yesterday in professional development, one of the teachers said to me, and this is another piece where I think it shows that the teachers actually really value the document. One of the teachers said, we were talking about the verbs with the ACCRS implementation. And she said, maybe we could tweak some of the verbs in the one-page target to match these high-frequency verbs from the ACCRS. I think that shows that the teacher cares. She cares about the implementation of ACCRS, but she sees the connection to what we're doing here. So that was huge for me. I haven't had time to even share that with any of y'all, but that was a big thing for me yesterday.
Because we did add 20 new staff members this year here in our building, 20 new teachers. And that has been a challenge for us because we obviously want them to feel a part, and we're actually revisiting, obviously, the one-page target. So I think one thing that we want to take from this is that it is fluid. There's several things we probably need to take from it, but one of the main things, it is fluid and it does evolve over time. Because I think what you're asked to do sometimes, as most of you know, in a school evolves over time. It's never the same. So very important aspect of our schools here in Madison.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How many minutes?